Okay guys, so you've had some time to work on your bell work on page 137, numbers 1 through 4, and these problems were some review for specifically double-digit multiplication. You might have seen a triple by a double or a double by a single, but we needed to review a little bit of multiplication rules before we move on to multiplication with decimals. So let's start with number 1 and work through it together. So for number 1, you have 17 by 28, and I know that it's written horizontally in the book, but we're going to work it out vertically. So we have 17 times 28. If you use lattice to multiply, you will be able to use lattice when we do decimals. But for the most part, with this lesson, I'm going to be using the traditional way to multiply. So we're starting off here, and we're going to multiply the 8 times the 7. So 8 times 7 is 56. I'm going to put down my 6 and carry over the 5. Then I'm going to multiply 8 times 1, which is 8, and then I add this 5 to it for a total of 13. Now I'm finished with this column of numbers, so I'm going to move on to the second column. And just like when we use zeros for placeholders when we're comparing and ordering and adding and subtracting with decimals, you also put in a placeholder 0 when we multiply. So go ahead and make sure that you've done that. Now I'm going to multiply 2 times 7, which is 14. Put down the 4, carry the 1. And then 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. Once I've done my multiplication, I'm going to add these two numbers together. 6 plus 0 is 6, 3 plus 4 is 7, and 1 plus 3 is 4. And this is your final answer. Let's do one more together, and let's look at number 3. Number 3 is 109 times 14. So again, same process. 4 times 9 is 36. Put down the 6, carry the 3. 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. Put that down. Then 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, I'm going to put that placeholder 0 because I'm moving on to the next column. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 0 is 0. And 1 times 1 is 1. When I'm done, I'm going to add those together. 6 plus 0 is 6. 3 plus 9 is 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. And then I'm going to bring down this 1. So 1,526. Okay, please remember to add this placeholder in. Some people, as I've been grading, they have the 109 directly underneath the 436, and therefore are getting the wrong answer because they were forgetting to move this over. Okay, I want you to hang on to your bell work and open up your notes section and get ready to take notes on multiplication of decimals. Okay, be ready in 3, 2, 1. If you look up on our focus board, our objective for today is it says I can multiply a decimal by a whole number. So multiplication of decimals by whole numbers is our title for today. You should be writing this down. And then write this down. One thing to always keep in mind: how many numbers you have behind the decimals in your problem will be the same amount of numbers behind the decimal in your answer. So, for example, and we're not going to worry, well, let's go ahead and do this example. If we did 5 and 5/10 times 2, I only have one number behind a decimal in my problem. So in my answer, I'm only going to have one number behind the decimal in it. So let's work this out. 2 times 5 is 10. Put down the 0, carry my 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So I start over here on the right side, and I count over one space, because that's how many numbers are behind the decimal. So counting over 1, and put down my decimal. Okay. Let's practice. So examples. Let's try 14 and 2/10 times 6. So let's work this one out together. 6 times 2 is 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Put down the 5, carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Now I look at how many numbers are behind the decimal in my problem. I only have one number, so I'm going to start over here and count over 1 and put my decimal. Okay, let's try this one. 83 hundredths times 9. Do not let this 0 stress you out. You can do this, I promise. Okay, let's walk through it. 9 times 3 is 27. Put down the 7, carry the 2. 9 times 8 is 72. Plus 2 is 74. Carry over the 7. 9 times 0 is 0. Plus 7 is 7. Now I'm going to look at how many numbers are behind the decimal place. I have 1, 2. So now I'm going to start from the right and come over 1, 2 spots and put my decimal here. So 7 and 47 hundredths. Okay, for some of your problems that you're going to be working on today, you're going to have to be working through like an algebraic expression. So for instance, you will see that favorite word of ours is evaluate. Evaluate. And let's go with 4C if C equals 27 ten-thousandths. Again, don't get scared. Alright, let's write this down. I'm going to write this number on top. And I'm multiplying this by 4 because when a number and a variable are touching, it means to multiply. All right, let's go. 4 times 7 is 28. Put down the 8, carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. Put down the 0, carry the 1. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 4 times 0 is 0. And 4 times 0 is 0. Okay, now I'm going to count how many numbers I have behind the decimal, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to start on the right and count over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My decimal goes right here for 108 ten-thousandths. So again, the algebraic examples, because you're going to see the word evaluate, and then some sort of algebraic problem. Okay, then you're going to see some problems that we'll call science examples, and you're going to be multiplying a decimal by a really big number with a lot of zeros. So, for example, if you saw 1,000 times 5 7/10. Well, just like if you were multiplying 57 times 1,000, you would write down 57 and put on 3 zeros. Use your zeros trick. So, let's look at this as 57. Ignore that decimal for right now. We've got 57 and 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to write those down. Now I'm going to look at how many numbers I have behind the decimal. I only have 1, the number 7. So I'm going to come down here and count over 1 and put my decimal right here for an answer of 5,700. Really easy, guys. Just add the zeros on. Okay, it's your turn. You're going to be working independently on page 165, numbers 11 through 41, odds only. This is homework if you do not finish. You need to work on it very hard today, very quietly, very independently, and then be ready to discuss it tomorrow. And we'll be talking about multiplying decimals by decimals tomorrow. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or make comments.